A very good morning, sir. I'm Juwita Mohammed, former ISIS researcher. I know that it's not easy to negotiate with the US, but I was just wondering, did we give in too much? Looking at our commitments on purchasing of Boeing, coal purchases, telecommunications. So I just wanted to ask for your take on this. Thank you.
You asked me about the procurement. When was the announcement of Boeing made? It was done in March. When was Liberation Day? It was in April. It's something that Malaysia Aviation Group has planned for months, for years even. So tariff or no tariff, it was a decision made based on business considerations. Tourism numbers are going up past the COVID era, and you are competing. You got Asia, you got Batik Air, you got Singapore, so you need to build up your fleet. We announced 30 in March with an optional 30. What do you announce in our trade negotiation? Exactly the same thing. Again, what is the main issue when it comes to procurement? It's because of our trade deficit. What's our trade deficit with the US? 25 billion US dollars. Is it big? Relatively, yes, given we are top 15 countries with the largest trade surplus with the US. So how do we address that concern? Do we get government to spend? No. Does any of the procurement numbers result in increase in deficit? Zero. Any impact on the fiscal position of the country? Zero. Why? Because one is Malaysia Airlines. Second, we went to all the chambers, the US chambers. We said to the US chambers and to other companies in the US, based in Malaysia, what are your budget for next year? And out of your budget for next year, how many % of that budget is procurement that you need to do anyway in the US? What's our biggest import from the US today? E&E as well, because it comes in here, we do some value add, and we send it back. So again, does it impact the government, the taxpayers' money? No. Does it impact the companies? No, because it's already planned. So we go to CMOF, Khazanah, EPF. Can you talk to your investee companies? What are their plans going forward that has procurement with the US companies? So Tenaga say, I'm buying this, Telecom say, I'm buying that, Petronas are buying this, LNG. Is it something that they will do if there is no tariff? Yes. Even if tariff is zero, they're still doing it. So why is that an issue? To me, it's not. Of course, my counterpart said, what's new? You're not announcing anything new. I said, no, if the objective is to reduce trade deficit, doesn't this reduce your trade deficit? And having said that, our trade deficit 4 years ago was 40 billion US. It's now 25 billion US. It is going down. So in negotiations, we must understand what the other party wants. And we also must understand what the other party is concerned about, right? I mean, I can be open here because there are many of you in this room also disagree with some of the policy of the government. For example, excise duties on cars. We have excise duties on only 3 sectors: alcohol, tobacco, and cars. And you know how sensitive Trump is to cars. He said, why are you having excise duties on cars? We all know why. But do we stand firm? We stood firm. On government procurement, did we stood firm? We stood firm. On Bumiputera issue, did we stood firm? We stood firm. On equity interest on foreign shareholding on strategic sectors, did we stood firm? Did we stood firm? And did you know that out of all the tariff lines, the 11,400 tariff lines, we only give 0 to 60% of that tariff lines. So it is a negotiation where it has to be win-win. But at the same time, it is not a free trade agreement kind of negotiation done in 3 months, right? It is unilateral, whatever you say. It is not bilateral. But at the same time, we got to be realistic. US is our largest export market, second largest trading partner, largest FDI into Malaysia by far, right? So we need to take into consideration just the E&E sector alone. If I just say, look, I don't want to negotiate anything with you, 100,000 jobs, 5% of GDP. So we need to take into context. And things have to be looked at holistically. It is not ideal, but there are also opportunities in this discussion. But we can't just rely on US at the end of the day. What's the total trade with the US? It's 15%, right? 85% is not with US. This is Malaysia. Even ASEAN trades with the US 15%. So we need to strengthen and diversify our markets. But we, as a country as well, the companies in Malaysia must continue to invest to ensure that they remain competitive.